Hey guys, and welcome back to another Science Minutes with Mid-America Science Museum. Today, it's all about weathering. Well, weathering and erosion. When you think of weathering, what do you think of? If you said rain, or sun, or the clouds, or a hot autumn day, Arkansas, then you're probably thinking about weather. Weathering is a breakdown of material that is caused by things like rain and wind. Can you think of any natural formation that is made through weathering? I'll give you a second. You're right, it's the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is a result of things like weathering and erosion. There used to be a river that flowed through, and as that water cut through, it broke the rocks down, and we have the Grand Canyon that we know today. Now, that didn't happen overnight, and neither does weathering. Weathering and erosion are a long-term process. So unless you have a time-lapse camera and a lot of time to spend, it's hard to see the direct results of weathering. So what we have for you today are some things that you can see that show instant results of how weathering and erosion work in our daily life. So for this activity, I'm going to need a container. It does not have to be opaque. It can be clear. You just want to make sure that you have a lid. I also have some sugar cubes. These are going to act as my rocks. And I have a marker. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the edges of my sugar cubes. And I'm doing this so I can mark how many edges there are, so I can see how many there are left after it goes through the process of weathering. Now I already have my other 3 done, just waiting on this one, and we will be good to go. Alright, now the reason I have 4 is because I want to see what happens when those rocks interact with each other. So I'm going to put them in my container, close that lid real tight, and give it a good shake. Alright, that was about 10 seconds, and we're going to see what happens when I open this container. You want to make sure it has a good lid. Alright, now, let's take these out and see what happens. Okay, so just with a few seconds of shaking, I already have corners that are being taken away, right? These do not have those colors anymore. They were taken away, they were broken down, they were weathered. Now I'm going to pour this sugar out so you can see what was left. Right? And those were the rocks that I had that have been broken down. So when we see rocks in nature, they go from large rocks to small rocks. Your smaller rocks are going to be a result of that weathering, that breaking down. Now, I do have some examples of what it started like, right? Our solid cubes, as well as what happens when you shake them for a much longer time. You'll see these are almost completely round, right? And they don't have any color left on them at all. So this is your process of weathering. Again, a lot faster than how long it took to make that Grand Canyon. For an example of erosion, we have one more activity for you. So if weathering is the breakdown, erosion is the movement. So I'm using examples from our Geosphere class. This is one of the things that you will do in there. I only have 2 land formations. In our Geosphere class, we compare 6 of them, okay? So right here, I've just got some dirt, right? People have houses on dirt roads. This is dirt, and I've got 5 houses. On this one, I have dirt that is covered with both large rocks and small rocks. We're going to see what happens and how the land moves, as well as how the houses move when we apply water, right? So as if it was a rain. Okay, we're going to pour them at the same time to see what happens. So again, weathering is the breakdown. What is happening to the material? Erosion is the movement. Let's watch this. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. We're going to pour it all across. Make sure we get that equal amount of water. Alright, still going. Okay, Now, a lot of great things are happening here. They show many examples of what's going on. So, if we look at just my dirt, okay, none of my houses are in the same location that they started in. They are either tipped over or moved down. Again, they have eroded away, that movement. Now, my houses over here are still standing. They've done pretty well, actually. Those rocks kept them in the same spot. So, what does that mean? Right? If you're thinking about this, you want to think about how your land affects your house or even your crops or different things like that. Now, what's left at the bottom of the tin, you'll see here, is what's called deposition. And deposition is the drop-off. So much of the dirt has dropped off to the bottom of the pan with the plain dirt, but with the dirt and the rocks, there's not much deposition. Not a lot of erosion happened this way, which meant my houses got to stay secure. Now you can try this at home. You can go outside, try things like leaves or rocks or any material, and you can apply water to them and see what happens. See how far they travel. See what you can do to make sure that your house stays secure. And think about how this could affect you. Think about the farmers and all the different things about where people build their homes. This has been another Science Minute. We'll see you next time.